Overthinking will absolutely destroy you. I've been in that situation many times, and I still do, where I'm constantly overthinking about the future. I'm constantly overthinking about past decisions that I made in my life. I'm constantly overthinking, like, will I ever be rich in the future? Will I ever be successful? Will I ever have my own house? Will I ever have a family? Will I ever do this? Will I ever travel to this country? Will I ever be able to achieve these things? And it's like a virus. It starts spreading into your mind, and sometimes you can't even sleep. You can't even sleep, and even when you do sleep, your dreams are related to your overthinking. You start having dreams about all these potential scenarios that could go wrong, right? That you have been thinking about. And it's crazy because a lot of the times the things that we overthink about, it doesn't really end up happening. But at the same time, overthinking is also a good in a way because it kind of gives you an alertness or prepares you for what you're supposed to be doing in a sense. Like if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, your brain kind of got overthinks or starts thinking of different solutions to certain problems. But the thing is, I feel like we can think about certain things, but then overthinking is on another level where it's like thinking about 50 to 100 different potential scenarios that most likely will never happen. And I think that overthinking affects our ability to stay focused. It gives us a strong sense of anxiety and worry about so many different things. Like you can feel it in the way that you're breathing. You start having shortness of breath. You start taking deep breaths, right? You start feeling jittery. You can't sit in one place for too long. The way you speak, you start speaking very quickly. You constantly need to fiddle with something because of the fact that you are thinking about certain things a little bit too much. And overthinking, if you don't find a way to control it, you won't be able to achieve certain things in your life that you want to achieve. And you won't have focus, you won't have clarity, you won't have the ability to focus on one thing at a time, because when you're doing one task, you're thinking about the other, right? But I believe that I've found some ways that help with overthinking, and maybe you can relate to this, or maybe it's something that you've never heard of before. And one of the things that I find that helps me with overthinking is to go for walks. When I go for walks outside for like 10, 15 minutes without my phone, that is also important too. I feel like my mind starts becoming a lot more clear. Like I start becoming clear-headed. So I find that does help quite a lot. And because you're not distracted by notifications on your phone, you're looking at nature around you, you're looking at your environment, you're bringing awareness to the way that you're walking, you're bringing awareness to how you're breathing. And I think that also correlates to even exercise as well. When you are exercising consistently, if you're going to the gym consistently, that helps with calming your mind. Everyone who goes to the gym, who lifts weights, they know that when they do it, they feel a lot more relaxed. They feel their mind is at ease. And when the workout is complete, they feel very, 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 very good about themselves. But obviously these are kind of like temporary remedies to overthinking. And there are other ways to help with overthinking as well. Meditation. But I find that when I do meditation, it doesn't really help me too much, because when I'm doing meditation, I'm thinking about so many different things. And it's when I'm focusing on just breathing, it's only for a short period of time. But I find that for me, the most effective way of dealing with overthinking is actually exercise, by moving my body, by going for walks, by lifting weights, by going for runs, by skipping rope. When I am doing this frequently, and when I'm doing this like 2 or 3 hours a day, that actually helps with my ability to overthink so much about certain things. And also, another really effective way to help with overthinking is to journal, to create a habit of journaling your thoughts, to create a habit of journaling your goals for the day, for the week, and check marking each goal that you complete. I find that that really helps express all of the thoughts and stuff in your head into paper. And when you write things down about what you're thinking, you're kind of taking out all of the thoughts one by one, one by one, one by one, until to the point where you have a clear head. Another way that helps me a lot with overthinking is taking warm baths and taking ice cold showers as well. I find that when I do these things and when I'm alternating between those two, I feel very, very relaxed. I feel very, very calm. And when I'm in the cold shower, your body's shaking and you're very uncomfortable. But the only thing you're thinking about is the ice cold. And once you've done that, you feel very good. You feel very calm. You feel very relaxed. And I think the whole point of doing all of these things is to relax yourself, to relax the body. When you're able to relax the body, the mind automatically relaxes. That's what I find. Body and the mind go hand to hand. Like they correlate with one another. So when you are doing very low vibrational, like in a sense, like very calming activities, if you're listening to peaceful instrumental music, it has an effect on not just your mind, but it has an effect on your body as well. Your body starts feeling relaxed. When you're doing any form of physical activity, when you are done the activity, it also has an effect on not just the body, but the mind as well. When you are reading a book, in a way, it is also therapeutic. It is calming the mind. I also find that when you go for hikes in the woods, that also has a tremendous effect on how you think. You start thinking with like gratitude. You start being grateful for everything that nature has provided for us. You're looking at the grass, the trees, the birds, the mountains, the lakes, the rivers, the streams, whatever. But it has a very soothing effect on the body. So if you are suffering from overthinking, try doing these things, and I hope that it helps you a lot, because it helps me as well with my problem of overthinking about so many different things. Anyways, thank you for watching.